Hey, I'm Pops. Saturday morning cartoons rolls on. I hope you're having as much fun as I am. Batman animated series, but wasn't it good to get to experience the X-Men, the Phoenix Saga, get to, meet Lady B's, and her childhood stuff because she's younger than this old man, so it was kind of cool to get that experience. But hope you're having a great time. This week is really an underrated gem. I don't know how everyone else feels about it. I will admit this one is one of those like foot to the chest, hit me in the feels. I'm probably biased for all the wrong reasons. I don't know. You guys will correct me, I am sure, but Beware of the Gray Ghost is probably one of my favorites. I remembered this very specifically. I was happy that it comes up. It is one where, you have childhood Bruce and adult Bruce plot points coming together and moving forward. And that's the piece to kind of keep in the back of your mind because you have this classic show, this character called Gray Ghost, and young Bruce is kind of a hero worship, right? He's watching the explosion of this story. This little show is on. There's a ransom note from the Mad Bomber. All these things are happening. And then later in our present time, Batman is experiencing the exact same things. A connection to the show becomes very, very evident very quickly with these sides of crimes and bombings and obviously threats. And that takes Bruce to Simon Trent, who's the actor who played Grey Ghost, voiced by Adam West. Now, it is interesting that how well they do with setting up how hard it is to be an actor. And maybe this is why our generation kind of don't have as many delusions about the finances, like the elite economic status of some of the Hollywood elites, the Tom Cruise or Harrison Fords or whatever. But we understand that's kind of the anomaly. And that in our childhood, some of these folks that we really enjoyed their work, let's say in through the 60s into the 70s, they didn't get residual money. They would be extremely poor or very struggling to make a living. You have child actors who turned into a mess, right? They were worshipped for 5 to 7 years, let's say, of their life, and then they're just sort of like cast to the side. They're typecast so they can't get more work. So you have someone like Simon Trent who's included as the Gray Ghost, and he just can't get jobs. Everyone thinks of him as the Gray Ghost. He's really struggling to pay his rent. So he's worked out an agreement with this local shop, this young guy, and he basically is there to buy Gray Ghost memorabilia. He's selling the costume. You have all of this stuff that's kind of happening, and when this is transpiring, the way that everything gets connected is because when Batman pieces this together, the clue with this childhood show that he loved, and he can't find the copies of the actual film, the show, he goes to Mr. Trent and he says, "Where is all this stuff?" And there's an explosion at the Gotham Bank, and of course Trent is running away from him. Obviously, Batman is already there, gives him the episode, and you sort of like see now the Batman detective piece, which we all love so much, and seems like it's completely void. The Batman had moments of it, and the only saving grace of the Batman will be if the new version of this Robert Pattinson character is reflecting on his failures to make him a better detective. He can't make the mistakes he made of this first film because people died. He was trying to be a good detective. He just sucked at it. And everyone, he didn't really prevent things from happening. Here we see Batman piecing things together very, very quickly, trying to come up with situations. And then, of course, it puts Batman and then ultimately Trent, who dons the actual Grey Ghost costume, right? And you have them in conflict with these toy cars that are rigged with explosives, just like the show. And when Batman ultimately investigates back at the Batcave, which is really great because it's very subtle. You don't see him with the blindfold on, but you see him removing the blindfold in the Batcave. And he makes a comment about being the Gray Ghost lair, how it's similar from the TV show. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, we kind of all know why. So anyway, the fingerprints point to Trent. He doesn't want to believe it's true. First, Batman, I think, is suspicious, or at least that's how it's played up a little bit. But they confront Ted. He's the name of the Mad Bomber guy, right? Which, by the way, we'll get to Mad Bomber because I want to get to why that also hits me in the feels. The fire starts, everything is happening. There's explosions, all the little cars are going off, that kind of thing. Ultimately, though, what happens is As of course, they're going to catch the Mad Bomber, they catch Ted, but more important than that, they make Trent a hero, right? His career is restarted in the sense of he is now able to share Grey Ghost on video and TV. Nostalgia lines are around the corner. He can sign autographs, make money. And you have this line that was set up pretty early on as Batman, where he says, I used to like idolize you and watch shows with you as with my father. You're my hero. So then at this signing, Bruce Wayne shows up. He repeats those exact words, and you can see Trent's face, kind of like, wow. He acknowledges that. I think that's Batman. Really, really great stuff. Great storytelling. Now, let me go back to that Mad Bomber, because it's Bruce Timm, the creator of all of this, who voices the Mad Bomber, Ted. I'm like, so the nostalgia stuff is so crazy and over the top, right? I will say that they also go further with all this Grey Ghost, inspiring Bruce to be a Batman and kind of modeling some of his, the Batcave and elements, because that actually carries over into Batman Beyond. If you watch Batman Beyond, you'll see that there's some of that's actually there as well. I will say that I think there's also, more of this with Batman Beyond, with like Grey Ghost again. I really, really want to see more elements of this get into cinema, because the show has hit all of the blueprints, or the blueprint is there. They've hit all their marks. So let's just take a little bit of a walk through some of the visual and stuff. I have to make sure I do my best here to look at that. See, there, we're trying to make improvements around here. You ask for some help, people show up. So yeah, if you want to help me make overlay or figure out how to upgrade this one, I'd be more than happy to take you up on it. So what this does is just gives you a little dose of a few things. Again, this is the black and white show, Thomas Wayne, and then of course the modern day stuff here. There's your Grey Ghost, and then this is this playing detective. And I'm sorry that so much of the overlay covers some of it. I love this part right here.
Simon Trent, dapper looking chap, and he's.
See, I love the fact that Alfred he's so well done, interjecting humor and elements that you just don't always have a great appreciation for. This is the financial stuff. Let's get to there's some really great stuff that comes along later, and this is where it gets really good. I love this part. You can hear them coming, but you don't see what's ahead, right? And they know these little cars are coming. You can see him sweating.
That sound.
Because of the Mad Bomber they got away. This is him getting back, and he thinks that he's he goes back, and now you have these are the episodes of the Grey Ghost: the Secret Chamber, the Road Trip. Let me see: Terror in the Sky, Earthquake, Sweet Revenge. There you go, Mad Bomber, Electronic Man, and Sweating Bullets. Cool. I wish I could see the ones above. Let's take the overlay down. No, we're not going to see that part. So obviously now we move to what I was saying earlier about the plot, but this animation is so good. Look at the detail on the cars, these little toy cars, and the intricate details of the way they do shadowing and details in the background to create contrast. It's so brilliantly done. In all of this, the smoke billowing in the background, the way the camera moves in the animation. You have multiple cars because they're on the lookout for what they're actually looking for now. And then, of course, we get some dialogue. There's your Ted. There's your Bruce Timm, baby. There's Bruce Timm. Now, is he sort of like a knockoff, generic version of Toyman? Okay, fair. But I like the fact that you have like crazy nerd he's obsessed with this toy. So when it all goes up, Ted actually kind of loses it quite a bit, right? So Ted's actually like kind of loses his mind a little bit. And then, of course, now you have Batman and Grey Ghost nab their Mad Bomber. Let's see if I can get that shot here of him like, oh no. Thinking that he's
me.
How much fun would Bruce Timm have had getting to do the villain laugh, right? That's got to be the best. And then here's that one part I was telling you about before where you have this I watched you with my dad moment as Batman and now as Bruce Wayne. And then it kind of pines up and you have this sort of like, oh, and it's Adam West. And you're just like, oh my gosh. So I get Adam West, I get Kevin Conroy, I get Bruce Timm, I get inspiration that moves the Batman lore forward. I have this like crime solving detective stuff. This episode has everything. It's fantastic. I was so pleased that it held up so well and it was so much fun to revisit it. I hope you're enjoying it. And love your thoughts too. I would say it may be among the best so far of like non-origin related things. Like, so I know there are some episodes coming up that are not, but there's like a ton of episodes coming up. Who we kidding? We're only like at episode 33, I think. So, but so far, I would say the best episodes to this point have been mostly like some of the origin issues. We had Mr. Freeze, the Clayface, some of those issues, right? So the Joker ones were not origin stories, so those obviously were super great. Really enjoyed some of these different episodes for different reasons, but this one, I don't know, really stands out to me. So let me see if I can get together some good commercials for you. You can have some fun. Next week, we have a special. I don't know if I'm going to have an in-betweener next week, but maybe I will do an in-betweener next week between the X-Men and Batman rewatches. But next week, after Batman, mark your calendars, after Batman next week, I have a special interview that I did with Resolute Germ. Now, if you don't know Resolute Germ, he's been doing Saturday morning cartoon rewatches. He uses Cosme as a way of putting the videos out there to be able to enjoy something together as a watch party and that kind of thing. Not something that I'm really interested in doing it that way, but I'd be interested in listening to him do that from time to time. So I reached out. We were able to have a great conversation. And if you're not familiar with his work, just tons of great content. Great way to revisit stuff that you may not even know exists. He was really shocked over you'll be shocked to hear about some of the videos that he's had great success with. We talk a lot about stuff that maybe you can't find easily. It's just a great conversation. So look forward to that next week as well. But again, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Our Saturday morning with Pops continues week after week. We're enjoying our time together. Thank you so much for watching. I am Pops.
Our show will begin after these messages.
Night falls, adventure calls. We are gargoyles, we live, we soar, we fight. We are gargoyles, protectors of the night. When darkness falls, evil thrives and stone-cold statues come alive. Goliath, Brooklyn, Lexington, we are gargoyles. Evil Xanatos, deadly trouble, wants to smash us all to rubble, but night brings life. We are gargoyles, we race, we roar, we ride. When gargoyles come alive, evil can't survive. We are gargoyles. Each sold separately.
Where can a kid kid around?
Billy!
Where can he act like a clown?
Billy!
Oh, what a face! There's just one place for a silly Billy like you. Come to Showbiz Pizza, you can turn it loose. Make them laugh, have some fun, be a silly goose. You're a kid, shout it out. That's what we're all about. Showbiz Pizza, where a kid can be a kid.
It's Batman at his best, supercharged with power. The turbo bat plane soars at breakneck speed. It's Catwoman. Fearing the killer claws, she leaps to safety.
Look out!
This feline's got her own set of claws. But Mech-Wing Batman can rise above this cat fight. He fires. Vehicle and figures sold separately. Batman. The best just got better.
Look for America's favorite hero this Christmas in the animated movie Batman, Mask of the Phantasm.
Batman's toughest challenge is Phantasm. So Total Armor Batman prepares for high-tech battle, powering up to take down evil in the electronic crime stalker vehicle. He fires. Phantasm finished. Vehicle and figures each sold separately.